Doo-doo-dee. It's Nandi!
Hello friends and fellow lobsters. We are back today and we're covering the Dirty Dozen again, who have returned from a 1-month hiatus in the month of June. Those of you that have been followers of this channel for a while know that the Dirty Dozen is the series that kicked everything off. It was my first ever video and remains my most popular video series. In this video, I'm going to be going over the Dirty Dozen for the month of July, as well as the extended characters to the top 20, and giving you some analysis and insight into all of them. Every video I do, I try and outdo a previous video, so for this video, I'm going to be doing detailed character infographics for each character in the top 10, in order to give you my insights into which abilities to upgrade, where they fit into the meta, and also their stat radar, which is a popular feature. You'll see on screen the outline for this video, and I'm going to be starting off with a Maugan Ra giveaway, followed by the Dirty Dozen, followed by an opportunity for you to enter my referral code and earn yourself 100 Blackstone. As always, the video will have timestamps and chapter markings for you to skip ahead to whatever is most relevant for you. Without further ado, I've just wrapped up the giveaway for the month of June, and successfully given away 2 sets of Eldryon shards. However, one person still has to claim their prize. Tyler Schmo, if I don't hear from you in the next few days, then I will roll your giveaway forward onto this video. For this video, Snowprint have very kindly offered me Maugan Ra shards to give away. Many of you will have just completed his legendary event and hopefully unlocked him if you followed my guides or channel in the past. If you're just a little bit short of the next threshold, this video is an opportunity to be one of 4 winners for his shards. First place earns 250 Maugan Ra shards, and there are 3 runner-up prizes of 50 Maugan Ra shards. All you have to do to enter with a chance to win is leave a comment in the video description below, and I will draw the winners at the end of the month. Let's talk about the Dirty Dozen and who they are. The Dirty Dozen is a list of the top 12 characters in the game who are scored on 5 different metrics. 4 of those are based on different categories of guild raid boss, and the last metric is on player versus player. Some people wonder why there is such a heavy lean towards guild raids. That is because, in the game as it currently is, guild raids are the most important game content and deliver the best rewards not just for you, but also for your alliance. The scores that you'll see here are compiled based on collaborative feedback from a host of the best players in the Pants of Horus guild. Pants of Horus is the guild that I play in, and the players who I have asked to join me in this venture are also all of my guildmates. We do well in guild raids as evidenced by our consistent top 2 ranking at the end of season, so the stuff in this video comes from a generally trustworthy source. You might wonder what's new in this video compared to previous videos. The main thing to say is that the arena scoring metric has now been changed to a PvP scoring metric. This now reflects how a character performs against similarly geared and ascended characters. The other big change is that I have a huge thank you to make to 2 of my previous collaborators, Magnus Stout and Hollow. They've had to take a step back from this venture due to other commitments, but this project would have never taken off without their support, and I am infinitely thankful and grateful for their help. In to fill their very big shoes this month is a particularly competent player in Pants of Horus, known as Legend JRG. Thanks very much, mate, for stepping in. On this infographic you can see the top 12 of the Dirty Dozen. Along with each character, you get a few lines describing why they are ranked as they are, so feel free to pause this video and read further if you're interested. However, all of my infographics will be uploaded to both the wiki and the Pants of Horus Discord, and you can find the links to both of those in the video description below. As promised, I'm going to take a deeper dive into each of these top 10 characters and provide you with infographics for greater insight in order to tailor your roster for success. The first character to talk about is Eldryon. Anyone who's been playing the game for a reasonable amount of time knows how strong Eldryon is, and that is because of his passive ability, Doom, that does bonus damage to any enemy unit that is exactly 2 hexes away. I don't need to labour a point because everyone knows Eldryon is great. He's the best character in the game, and I think he will only be displaced as that top character if Snowprint decide to nerf him. In terms of abilities, obviously take his passive as high as you can, but his active ability can definitely be skipped. The next character to talk about is Maugan Ra, who follows closely behind his Eldari compatriot. Maugan Ra has just had the final run of his legendary release event. Hopefully, if you've been following my YouTube channel and videos, you've been successful in unlocking him. The reason Maugan Ra is so good is because his ranged damage is high and he synergizes very well with Eldryon. Additionally, he has a potent passive ability where you can really reap the rewards of proper positioning against enemy bosses. I would skip his active ability as it is not a high priority. Jumping up several spots this month is Thaddeus of the Astra Militarum faction. One of the most challenging bosses for us to deal with at the moment is Mortarion, and against him you really want to have good ranged damage dealers due to the anti-melee mechanics built into the boss fight. Testing against Mortarion has really brought to the forefront just quite how good Thaddeus is. Not only does his passive ability synergize very well with Maugan Ra's heavy weapon trait, but Thaddeus also has the highest ranged damage stat in the game by a considerable margin. I really like Thaddeus and I would focus on upgrading his passive ability. His active is fine, but certainly not something I would upgrade over his passive. The next character is Calgar of the Ultramarines faction. Calgar is one of the few characters for whom both his active and passive ability are phenomenally good. His passive ability allows him to be a very potent damage buffing hero, and his active ability excels both in PvP as well as in guild raids in clearing summoned units. Coming up next is Bellator, also of the Ultramarines faction. Bellator's strength comes from the fact that he summons Inceptors based on each round of combat that has already elapsed. Individually, each Inceptor is fairly weak in terms of damage output. However, when you start to give them damage bonuses, they really start to scale up due to the fact that they each have 6 hits. This makes Bellator really powerful with Eldryon and Calgar's passive, and also lets him work well with Aun'Shi, who can recharge his active ability for back-to-back summons. Bellator's passive ability is fine, but again, not worth upgrading as a priority. Aethana comes in at position 6 as the third Eldari to complete the top 6. Aethana is also a powerful damage boosting character that compares favourably to both Calgar and Eldryon. The benefit to Aethana is that she is non-legendary and therefore may potentially be more easily accessible to newer players in the game. Her active is definitely skippable, and I would suggest focusing on her passive first of all. Next, we have Yarrick from the Astra Militarum faction. Yarrick is a character who has courted some controversy. He was part of the wave of nerfs that happened a few months ago. While his active is not as powerful as it once was, it still provides good value, especially when combined with Aun'Shi. His passive is fine, but nothing worth upgrading in a hurry. In position 8 we have Revas, the first Tau that we are seeing on the Dirty Dozen. Revas makes the list due to effectively having 9 hits. Her passive adds 3 hits to her existing 6. This makes her an excellent candidate to take and benefit from buffs such as Calgar and Eldryon. The main thing that is limiting Revas from greatness is the fact that she only has ranged 2 and suffers a significant reduction in her damage if an enemy gets into close combat range. Her active is fine for PvP but not worth heavy investment. The next character is also, pleasingly, Tau. We have Aun'Shi, who makes himself useful by having a unique ability through his active. Inspired to Greatness is the only ability in the game that allows you to recharge a friendly unit's active. This gives a huge amount of versatility both in PvP and in guild raids. His passive is fine if you have additional badges, but I would prioritize this behind his active. The last character in the top 10 is Castellan Creed. Creed has value in summoning 2 or 3 guardsmen that can potentially all attack different targets, making him unique in the realm of summoners. Creed's passive is nothing to write home about, but that unique summoning ability and synergy with Yarrick keep him scoring highly on these metrics. Rounding out the Dirty Dozen is Roswitha and Volk. Roswitha is the best character in the game to bring and battle Mortarion, the newest guild raid boss. Mortarion is indeed the Deathlord and is very difficult to fight and kill. Roswitha's value comes in both her active and passive being exceptionally potent against this difficult enemy. I'd go as far as to say that Roswitha is the best character in the game against Mortarion. Volk rounds out the Dirty Dozen by having a lot of the characteristics that make damage dealers useful in the current meta. He has multiple hits through his ranged attack and also deals a reasonable amount of damage. We can now take a quick look at the rest of the top 20 and speak about a couple of things. The first thing to highlight is that there is a possibility that in future Darkstrider could make this list. However, it's a little bit too early since his recent buffs, and we need to figure out exactly where he lies in the meta. For more analysis on Darkstrider, check out my recent video where I've done a deep dive into the rework of Marker Light and how that affects his character in particular. The other noteworthy thing to highlight is that Aleph Null scores very highly against Mortarion. In my last video I had a lot of people asking me why this was the case, and that's simply because his scarabs have a unique swarm ability that mean they do not die immediately to Mortarion's passive. This potentially allows you a replicating meat shield to distract the guild boss and allow your fragile ranged damage dealers to potentially survive for longer. As always, these infographics will be uploaded to both the Pants of Horus Discord as well as the wiki, and I would encourage you to check both of those resources out as they have a lot of useful information. Thanks for sitting through all of this so far. If you've enjoyed this video and would like an opportunity to earn some free Blackstone, please consider entering my referral code on screen. You will earn yourself 100 Blackstone, and it will also go a long way in supporting me and allowing me to continue doing the work that I do. Next, if you're interested in joining a new guild or pushing yourself to the next level, I would recommend coming along to the Pants of Horus Discord, where we have a fun and friendly community, as well as guilds looking for new recruits. Finally, our friendly community manager, Ratatosk, has asked me to put this letter in my video. It's the letter O, and I'm not entirely sure what it means or what I need to do with it, but maybe all of you can figure that out. That's all for now, folks. See you soon. Bye.
Doo-doo-dee. It's Nandi.